stocks have been, under pressure today. That's important news that's coming in. Is India going to be making the Su-57? Well, from the looks of it, I think this is news that Parikshit is picking up, and we'll try and have him on in just a bit. So the request for proposal for the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft program is to be issued next week. So we were supposed to move to the 5th gen of these aircraft, and the Su-57 is supposed to be one of the best-in-class stealth fighters with superior technology, the ability to go undetected, within radar systems, lesser heat signature, so on and so forth. So it seems that conversations are underway, and the government could be considering a collaboration with Russia. And let's see, the question is whether these fighters will be made in India or not. Let's pull up the HAL stock because, of course, Hindustan Aeronautics has been making the Su-30 fighters for many, many years. We've got, let's get HAL up and see if there's some excitement showing up on the stock. Not quite. But Parikshit's with us. Parikshit, this could be a big moment. So Su-57 soon?
Well, a final proposal is yet to be made and cleared by the government. Currently, we believe that there are multiple options being considered by the government in terms of plugging the gaps in our fighter jet fleet. The number one point that we're going to see some action on very soon is the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft program. Recently, the government had modified the execution model, come up with a new model whereby foreign players, domestic players will be allowed to participate, and they will also be able to partner with the PSUs like HAL to bid for the AMCA program. Now, a request for a proposal, inviting proposals from the industry for this fighter jet program to make them in India is going to be issued later next week. And 15 days within that period, we will see the a pre-bid meeting also taking place where the industry will be called for a meeting. And within 45 days or so, bids may also be called for by the government. Having said that, the short-term measure that the government is considering, because having an AMCA program means almost 10-15 years of development, you also need to plug the gaps immediately. So the option is to also consider acquiring Su-57 fighter jets, 5th generation fighter jets from Russia, acquire them in a flyaway condition and also make them in India. Now, this is a proposal that the Russian government has given to the Air Force. It is under consideration. If approved, then the government will come up with a proposal and will start working on talks with the Russian government. Early stages, but it seems that the government would be keen on this, considering there is already an existing HAL line making Su-30 fighter jets. Then you also have the 5th generation fighter engine development program that is ongoing, and the government is considering proposals from both Safran, which is a French company, and Rolls-Royce for manufacturing 5th generation fighter engines in India. Now, these are the only two companies which have qualified as per the criteria to give 100% technology transfer and IP transfer as well. Now, as far as collaboration with the United States goes, no proposal right now for acquiring F-35s is under consideration. There is also a larger plan to improve our air defense systems. The S-400s performed very well for the government during Operation Sindoor. We've got 3 units of S-400, 2 more are likely to be delivered by next year, and the plan is to possibly consider acquiring at least 1 or 2 more units of the S-400 beyond the current timelines. And the Defense Acquisition Council could very soon also take up a proposal for acquiring quick reaction surface-to-air missiles for the Indian Army. This weapon platform could be acquired, and the acquisition could be worth at least 30,000 crore, and this would be a big boost for the domestic industry.
Oh, absolutely. Pariksha, that's very, very comprehensive. So you answered my second question. I was wondering what happens to the F-35. So what you're picking up is that there's no proposal to go to the Americans now to get them. So just to wrap this up in full context for our viewers, so what you're saying is that we could be looking at buying the Su-57s, some of them in fly-ready conditions, and eventually look at making them in India. And this would be in addition to the procurement of additional Rafale aircraft as well, is it?
Yes, just a few months back, and we had interviewed the Defense Secretary on this, Surbi. The Defense Secretary had said that they have submitted a report to meet the gaps and the needs of the Air Force. The Air Force Chief has been speaking about how we need many more squadrons in the Air Force, and there is an aging fleet issue as well. So there was a plan in terms of near-term measures, medium-term measures, and long-term measures that were recommended. So what you see right now is a part of that larger exercise. The Rafale fighters, we already have Rafale fighters for the Air Force, and there is a supply chain, domestic supply chain also, which is now coming up. The Rafale marine aircraft are also being acquired, and the reason why that has happened is because the Navy needed them, and there is already a Rafale base in the country. Now, we need 5th generation fighter jets fast. We can't wait for 10 years also. So what acquiring them from Russia can do is we can possibly get them in a shorter span of time. And eventually the plan would be to also make them in India. And Russia is willing to offer that technology, offer such a collaboration. And considering that you have a long history of collaboration with Russia on the Su-30, HAL has a line in Nasik. So there is a complementarity which you would like to leverage. For the long term, you would also need Atmanirbharta in engine manufacturing. So that's a separate program for the 5th generation fighter jet. We need those fighter engines. Safran and Royce are willing to give you 100% technology transfer. So they are being considered. Now, as a long-term measure, India needs its own advanced medium combat aircraft program, or the 5th generation fighter jet program. Which is being developed indigenously. Till now, DRDO, HAL were working on it, but you need now foreign partners to come in, collaborate with Indian private firms, collaborate with PSUs, and then come up with a strong program, but it's got a long gestation period. So probably the Su-57 program will be a early harvest, so to say, or the near-term measures that the Indian government needs to take.
Absolutely, got that. Thank you for that, well-rounded, comprehensive take, Parikshit. Very, very important steps when it comes to, India's fighter capability. And also the engines have been it's quite interesting because you know that those GE engines have been delayed pretty much forever. And without the engines, you can't have the jets. So if you want to make in India, I guess the eventual goal is to make the engines as well. And as Parikshit says, there's talk of technology transfer with Rolls-Royce now, among others.
Interesting developments. But for now, they're looking to plug the gap by
now,
and then make in India eventually over the next decade. Let's move on now and talk about